Americans joining the Russian army. That sounds like a start to a bad movie. But this isn't fiction. It's real life. And it's what I call the Derek Huffman Effect. Russell Bentley, Michael Gloss, and Derek Huffman all ended up on the other side of the Ukraine war. All right, so as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about Americans who decided to join the Russian army and did not make it. I'm calling this the Derek Huffman Effect just due to the fact that he's like the most popular one at the moment, but he was not the first one to do it. Now, the normal American wouldn't even think about vacationing in Russia, let alone moving out there, moving their family out there, or even starting a life out there. The first person we're going to talk about in this video, though, is going to be Russell Bentley. So let's get into that. First, let's talk about Russell Bentley, known as the Donbass Cowboy. He was a Texan who went to eastern Ukraine years ago. He joined the Russian-backed separatists and even became a Russian citizen. But in April 2024, Bentley's life ended mysteriously. Reports say he was killed and possibly tortured by Russian soldiers themselves. A brutal, iconic end for a man who once believed he was fighting for their cause. All right, so that was just a little background on Russell. Like I said, from everything I found on the internet, he seemed to be a pretty cool guy. Neighbors seemed to like him. He seemed to want to move to Russia just because he didn't like what was going on. Now, I did find an interview from years ago, and I'm going to play it here just so you get some context of who he was.
Years ago to leave United States and be where you are.
I came to the Donetsk People's Republic in December of 2014 after seeing, I was born in Texas in the year 1960. I grew up in the time of Vietnam, of the civil rights movement, and just watching as things developed over the history of the last 60 some odd years. I was in the U.S. Army when Reagan invaded Grenada, the little tiny island, Caribbean island. I was 20 years old during the first Gulf War. I saw Iran get attacked. I saw the, Syria being attacked. I saw the Iraq, the second Gulf War that was based on lies. I saw, the attack on Syria based on lies. I saw the murder of Gaddafi and the destruction of the most prosperous country in Africa, Libya, completely destroyed, turned into a Mad Max hellhole with slave markets and the whole nine yards. And what had once been the most...
He gives like old school grandpa conspiracy theorist vibes. Now, there's not much on his death. There's no information. It's super mysterious. But if you know anything, just comment down below. You guys are amazing. Like I said, these two names actually came from the chat. So keep commenting and let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll put it in there. But the second person we're going to talk about is Michael Gloss. And I think his story is a little bit more unique considering the fact that his mother was a CIA deputy. Let's get a little bit on her, and I'll give you my opinion about it. Then there's Michael Gloss, just 21 years old, the son of a CIA deputy director. He moved to Russia in late 2023 and enlisted directly into the Russian army. Only months later, in April 2024, he was killed in eastern Ukraine. His story shocked people because of his family background, and it raised even more questions. Why would an American with every opportunity in life throw it all away to fight and die for Russia? Yeah, so it doesn't make sense why you would go from a pretty wealthy family. I would assume if your mother's in the CIA and your dad's in the military, your family's probably well off. What would possess a 21-year-old kid to say, f*** America, I'm going to go join the Russian army, and literally die a year later? But there's a guy on TikTok who did I don't want to say a deep dive because it's a 30-second video, but he kind of got a lot of information in one video. His name is Anthony Scott, so give him some credit, of course. Go subscribe to him on TikTok. But I'm going to play that video now just so you guys get some context of it.
This image here is the final moments of American citizen Michael Gloss, killed while fighting on the front lines in Ukraine. Except Michael wasn't killed fighting for who you would think he was fighting for, like many other Americans. Michael here is actually the son of one of the many CIA deputy directors, Julian Galina. Weird. His father is also a high-level naval officer in charge of multiple intelligence committees. Now, Michael here, seen flipping off the Capitol building, was a deeply rooted anti-fascist who hated the West. He hated colonialism and the expansion of the West with all of his entire heart. He arrived in Russia in February of 2023, where he immediately enlisted voluntarily into the Russian military. He was then fighting in Ukraine for pretty much an entire year, where he was subsequently killed on April 4th, 2024 by a Ukrainian FPV drone. His body was then returned in December of 2024 to the United States, where presumably many people within the United States government would have known about this.
Yeah, I think those two guys' stories are pretty unique and interesting. Now, I don't know a lot of Americans who would just get up and go to Russia and join anything over there, let alone the army. But I guess it ended how you thought it would probably end, joining the Russian army. Now, Derek Hoffman is still alive and kicking, and there's not too much updates. You can check out their content on Hoffman Time, which is their YouTube channel. Now, what I will say is the Derek Hoffman hate train is alive and well, and it's like people are taking a poll on when he's going to die. Now, like I say always on this channel, we here don't wish death on anybody. I wish him the best of luck. I hope his family can actually get back to America, or they can just have the life they want to have in Russia. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys know any other stories of Americans moving to Russia or any other country that you guys want me to cover, let me know. Comment their name down below. As always, God bless, and I see you guys in the next one.